This is the OTP. I'm Amie Wells, joined by our draft legends, Coach Mac and Rhett Bryan.
Wow.
They are here on the OTP. Did you like that?
That was very nice.
Isn't that nice? Yeah.
Also not true,
No,
but good.
You are legendary in your draft knowledge and coverage and the amount of information you are providing throughout this series, which, if you are new here, welcome. We are in the middle of our position preview series where we are breaking down each position group and providing some of the names that you should know as the 2025 NFL Draft approaches. Today we are talking tight ends. Today we are talking wide receivers. If you are just tuning in, you've missed a lot. So help me help you. TennesseeTitans.com or the Titans YouTube channel, or whatever vendor you get your podcast from. All of those places are great options for you to go and get caught up on the episodes of the OTP that you may have missed. We talked about all of the defensive position groups. We have also talked about offensive linemen, both tackles and interiors, so center and guards. We've covered all of them. There's a lot of great information out there.
I want them to rate, like, subscribe.
Yeah, do all of
and
those
on
things.
the YouTube channel, if you'll subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you get push notifications when there's a new OTP on, or any other materials, fine materials on the Titans YouTube channel when it drops.
Rhett, how do you know all of these things?
I don't know.
He's a legend.
Just kind of came to me.
He's a legend. I had no idea.
Just a short PSA for the
To help
OTP.
me help you, I just watched. I was flicking through my TV, and I just watched Jerry Maguire again.
Oh yeah.
That's where it comes from.
Help me help you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because I was there. I was there when they were filming it, because they filmed it at the Cardinals facility when I was coaching there.
Rod
So-
Tidwell.
It's one of my favorite Mac facts is that you
I was
were
there-
there
I
for the
was-
filming of Jerry Maguire.
I was
That's
there
cool.
every day.
It's
Every
crazy.
day. It was fascinating. So anyway, all right, go ahead.
No, I mean,
Mac Nugget.
we could
We're off to
hear
a good
more
start.
of that. But really, this is a great resource to help you get up to date on everything that's going on draft related. Because on draft night, you're going to hear the names that we are talking about, so you may as well know a little bit about them. With that being said, are you guys ready to start talking tight ends?
Let's go.
Let's go.
This is a great draft for tight ends.
Correct.
And that's exciting because I feel like we've had a couple years where there's kind of been a lull at the tight end position. Why do you think it is that this year's the year that there's a lot of decent depth at that position group?
It's become a huge, huge position in offensive football.
Yeah.
Not only the National Football League, but starting out in the collegiate game with all the RPOs that people are doing now and the spread offenses. And plus, a lot of people are playing a lot of 12 personnel now, which is 2 tights, 2 wides, 1 back, but using these guys as big slot receivers. That's why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we're not talking about your traditional yesteryear tight end draft where the wide blocking position. Like, yeah, there's a couple of guys in this draft that's what they do, but you're really – he's right. You're looking at big, giant receivers.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I have asked you guys to put together a list of the top names within the tight end group, and you so kindly did that.
Yes.
So, Rhett, who are some of the guys who are on your list?
Let's start with a guy that started to really get on our radar going to the Senior Bowl this year in Mobile, and that's Elijah Arroyo from University of Miami, one of quarterback Cam Ward's favorite targets. He had a significant knee injury, so the medical checks on that knee were really crucial in Indianapolis. He had a pretty severe knee injury that limited him to just 8 games that he played in between the 2022 and the 2023 seasons as a Hurricane. So he had a career year in 2024 and stayed healthy. 31 catches, 526, and 6 touchdowns from Cam Ward. He rang in at the Combine at 6'5 and an eighth, 250, hands 10 inches, arms 33, wing almost 82 inches. And we saw him at the Senior Bowl. He was huge. Big, big dude. He did not do any testing at the Combine except for the bench press. He did 22 reps at 225. But that's a guy that is really starting to pick up steam as one of the better tight ends in this group. Another one is a guy named Colston Loveland, and he is from the tiny town of Gooding, Idaho, population 3,500, standout basketball player in high school, and he was a Michigan Wolverine. He finished 2024 with 45 catches for 649 yards and 4 touchdowns. Colston Loveland had a right AC joint repair of his right shoulder on January 29th. He was still in the sling and the apparatus when I saw him at the podium at the Combine a while back. Another one that should be cleared up to go this summer after he is drafted. 6'5 3/4", 248 pounds, 10-inch hands, arms 32 3/4. My last one on this list is a guy from, well, Eddie George is now their head coach at Bowling Green, and not in Kentucky. This is Bowling Green, Ohio, in the MAC conference, and that's Harold Fannin Jr. Harold Fannin Jr. is a very interesting prospect. 6'3 1/4", 241, hands 9 1/4, arm 32 1/4, wing almost 80 inches. He tested pretty well at that size. 4.71 in the 40, 1.56 in his first 10. 4.39 short shuttle, 6.97 3-cone drill, 34-inch vertical leap, 9.10 broad, 22 reps at 225. And he led all FBS tight ends in receptions and receiving yards at Bowling Green last year. He finishes with 100 catches last year for 1,342 yards and 9 touchdowns.
Wow. Rhett, that was a strong list. Mac, what do you have?
First of all, let's help our OT people out a little bit. We give you all these numbers on these testing.
Yeah.
When you talk about the 3-cone for these skill positions, anything under 7 is really good.
Okay.
That's what you're looking for. 7 seconds or under. You start getting into mid-7s, then you start getting into guys that are having trouble getting around the corner or just, being able to move. But if you hear us say this was a 6'5 or 6'6 or 6, that's really good. That's what you're looking for. The 3-cone, anything under 7.
Okay. And that's a guy, Harold Fannin. He was 6'3 1/4, but he was 241 pounds doing that.
Right.
So,
yeah. I mean, that's a lot of person to move around.
Yes, it
is.
is.
And it's important to kind of know what the measuring stick is.
Mm-hmm.
When you're listening to all these numbers, because that's
good call out, Mac. Good job.
Every now and then I get it right. Tyler Warren from Penn State. 6'5 1/2", 265, 9 1/2 hands, 76-inch wingspan. This guy is what you're looking for, size and play strength in the NFL. But he's a Y tight end. What do I mean when I say Y? Y tight end is that guy that's normally going to line up next to your offensive tackle. This is not a guy that's going to split out a whole lot, but he is a prototypical. Rhett had talked earlier in this, about tight ends, about the difference of the way the position has changed. This is a prototypical Y tight end. Y is on the end of the line of scrimmage next to the tackle, just so we got that. Penn State's entire offense ran through this guy. He can make really good adjustments to the ball down the field. He's a great combat catcher, which means in a contested catch because of his size and strength. He's improved his hand. He will bully defenders. I mean, he will. I mean, you can see him do it all the time. He can sink his hips. He's consistent, and he's technically nuanced. He's got good power. His contact balance after catch is really, really good. He's got the size. He's got the movement skills to block just about however you want him to block, all right? Now, his speed is average for what we're looking at. He's unlikely. I say he's a Y tight end. He's not going to be a guy when you're looking at, say, well, he's going to really threaten us deep down the seam, but he's a fluid runner, Amie. But the difference between being fluid and being explosive and extremely quick, but this guy will be a first-round pick. All of these guys have got pluses and minuses.
Right.
So when you're talking about these people, I mean, like we're doing it, we would in a draft room. You got to give the pluses and the minuses with what we've got. Next guy is Mason Taylor out of LSU. First of all, really good gene pool in him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Gold jackets galore.
Yes. 6'5", 251, hand size of 10, arm length of 32, wingspan of 78. Go the Nuggets on him, Rhett.
Of course, Jason Taylor, Hall of Famer pass rusher for the Dolphins, is his father. His uncle is Zach Thomas, another Dolphin, Gold Jacket member of the Hall of Fame. But I hate that we did not ask him this at the Senior Bowl when we talked to him. Really nice young man.
Mm-hmm.
But he knew early on he wanted to get better, and obviously, with uncle and dad with that pedigree. But when he was in high school, he asked his mother, can we turn our garage into a gym? And so the MT, Mason Taylor, the MT lab created. They finished it out. They put gear in there, and all of his teammates would come over and work out every day.
At his house.
At his house.
Oh.
Rhett Nugget Supreme. Here we go.
Wow, that's a big one.
Yeah, well,
And
his-
also, shout out to Mom for being
Yeah.
like, okay,
Well,
yeah, sure. You
she
can have
knows.
the garage.
Well, I mean, Mom is, knows what football can do for you when you get really good at it too.
Yeah.
this dude is a legitimate dude, and you can tell he's grown up with it
Mhm.
when you talk to him. Yeah, I mean, you really like that. He can really track the ball over his shoulder. He's got good coordination and body control. His drop rate is really, really low. He's a smooth mover. He's very subtle in the things he does. You can tell he's been learning the game, from an early age. He's got good bend. He's got lateral explosiveness. He understands how to locate his targets when he's blocking. They used him a lot in pass protection because he's in a good all-around tight end. He's got average speed. He's not going to be a burner. He's not as sudden sometimes out of these breaks, but he's smooth. There's a difference between being sudden and being smooth. The thing that happens to him sometimes is he kind of cuts his route sometimes because he predetermines where the open spot's going to be, which can be good, but at the same time, your quarterback's got to know too.
Right.
What's going on. So anyway, we're talking about some real minutia now in when you're looking at a tape. And so he's not going to be an overwhelming guy to beat the press, but to find an open spot and to be able to maneuver in space, he's a good player.
He's a red zone threat.
Yeah.
And
You
here's
use
the
him
other
that
thing
way.
that he's not going to be, which is important, because of his pedigree and his background. He's grew up with it. A lot of rookies, Amie, come into this league with big, wide eyes because all of a sudden the environment is like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. He's very familiar and comfortable in this world.
Very comfortable in this environment.
Powder,
Yeah.
dry.
Gunnar Helm from Texas, 6'5", 241, 9 7/8 hands, 33-inch arms, 78 wingspan, 4.84 in the 40. He can run a 1.69 10, 30-inch vertical, kind of average, 7.15 3-cone. Remember what we talked about earlier, 3-cone, 7 or under. That's pretty much there.
Yeah.
He's got above average size. He's got good movement skills, 45 targets in 2024, 0 drops.
Hey.
So he's got good hands. He
Yeah.
can track. He can high point. He understands how to manipulate coverage. He's fluid. He's a smooth athlete. He can sink his hips on breaks, which is important. If you have to grind the coffee making breaks, turning corners, it's not good. He can sink his hips. He's very smooth doing that. He's versatile. He's got some quicks to it. He doesn't have elite speed. That's going to be one of the things that you're going to look at. And then he wasn't really productive until his 4th year in college. So he has been an ascending, as we call it, an ascending player. Here's the other thing about Gunnar Helm. He popped his ankle at the combine with a false start in the 40. And it swelled up like a helium balloon. But he continued to work out on it the whole time.
Wow.
This guy's got a lot of grit to him. He's a physical player. So Gunnar Helm from Texas.
Poor guy. That's not a good day to hurt your ankle.
No, but you're showing your coaches, hey, he's going to do the work.
He got a lot of props for finishing it
Yep.
out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. Definitely a name to know and a name to watch. This summer, SeatGeek has your ticket to the best live concerts in Nashville at Nissan Stadium. SeatGeek has the best seat, your seat, for an unforgettable summer. From rock royalty to rap superstars, R&B to country, find it all on SeatGeek, the official ticketing partner of Nissan Stadium. Little Caesars is the official pizza partner of your Tennessee Titans. Download the Little Caesars app and get your favorites delivered today. Delivery fees apply. Now, back to the OTP. Shall we switch over to the wide receiver position?
Sure, we can do
Let's
that.
do.
Does that sound like a fun thing? Rhett, I'm excited to hear about some of the names on your list because you've got some solid talent there.
Yeah, well, let's start with Arizona Wildcats receiver Tetaroa McMillan. Tetaroa McMillan, I think, ran in the 4.5s at his pro day. Size and catch radius is what you're talking about with this guy. 6'4" and 1/8", 219. Hands, 10 inches. Wing, almost 78, but a great catch radius and big, big hands. He was a standout volleyball player in high school, so hand-eye coordination and combat-style catcher. I think for his size, he could stand to put on a little bit of weight because his frame is a little slight, but he is certainly a name you will hear called on that Thursday night, April 24th, to begin the first round. I moved to a guy who you people know a whole lot better because they won the national championship, and that's Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State. You talk about a really nice receiver who runs the you-know-what out of a route tree. just under 6'1", 202, hands 9 5/8, 31.5-inch arms, 76 5/8-inch wing. Finished 2024 with 1,150 receiving yards and 12 touchdowns. Good hands, route runner, and just a lineage of good receivers out of that program. He's the next one out of it. I really like Emeka Egbuka. Let's move to Jaden Higgins. This young man is from Iowa State, grew up in Louisville, Kentucky. Jaden Higgins, a big guy. Saw him at the Senior Bowl. 6'4" and 1/8, 214, hands 9 1/8, 33 1/8 arm, 80-inch wingspan. Jaden Higgins, 4.47 in the 40, 1.53 in the first 10. And again, that's at 6'4" and change and at 214 pounds. 39-inch vertical leap, 10.8 broad. So the explosion factors that Mac's always talking about, they're there. But Jaden Higgins, 1,183 yards in 2024 for Iowa State, 9 touchdowns, physical, size. One of the big receivers in this that can make some plays. And then I finish with a Southeastern Conference player, Trey Harris from Ole Miss. Trey Harris is from Lafayette, Louisiana, played at Louisiana Tech, transferred, went to Ole Miss, finished his career there his last 2 years under Lane Kiffin. 2024 year, 1,030 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns. He was one of Jackson Dart's go-to guys in this. Trey Harris, 6'2 and 3/8, 205, hands 9 5/8, arm nearly 32, wing almost 79, and then he tests well at that size. 4.54 in the 40, 1.56 in his first 10, 38.5-inch vertical leap, 10.5 broad jump, and all he did was just catch the ball and score a lot of the times when he did. He's one of 2 Southeastern Conference wide receivers in the history of the Southeastern Conference to average 100 yards per game receiving. The last one, Jabbar Gaffney, Florida Gator.
Wow. Mac, can you explain to us why explosion would be such a valuable thing for a wide receiver to have?
Quickness. It has to happen quick, and explosion means everything, especially when you're with timing, with routes. You don't have a lot of time as a receiver to ooze into your route. You really don't, because
Right.
the quarterback has got a clock in his head. The same clock has got to be in your head, and the ability to explode, the ability to stop and start. The other thing you want about explosion is the better explosion that you have, Amie, the more you threaten the defensive back, because all of a sudden, if you explode off the line of scrimmage, you're going to back them up, and then if you can shut it down and explode out of a break instantaneously as to where the ball is delivered, then you got a chance for separation. You're always looking for separation. If you're a receiver, and I'm a defensive coach, which I was for most of my life, and you watch tape and somebody's oozing into their routes, that's not a big threat.
Yeah.
So you need to be explosive.
Okay. That's good information right there. I mean, look at us learning things here
Don't
on the
ooze.
OTP. Do not ooze.
There's no time for that.
Yeah, I
time
mean,
for
we just
that.
don't have time for your oozing. So whatever you need to do to get that figured out. Mac, let's hear your
Travis Hunter, how about him? We talked about him as a cornerback.
Can you put him in both?
Yes.
All
This
right.
guy's an
Okay.
athlete.
It's your show.
He is an athlete. We've already talked about his size, 6 foot 188. Probably played a little lighter than that played 104 snaps a game, which is incredible.
Wild.
The thing that's incredible about all of that is that at the end of ball games, if they needed him to make a play offensively after having played 90 snaps, he was there to make the play. I mean, his conditioning has got to be incredible, but he is blessed. He's a Gumby athlete. He's extremely fluid. As a receiver, he's got elite spatial awareness when he's in the air. In the air, he's like a cat. You know, you can drop a cat off a roof, and he'll find a way to hit on its feet. That's the way this guy is. He's got a spatial awareness as to where he can adjust to the ball, and then he's got instant acceleration. There were a lot of times where they would line him up offensively, and he would just run away from any time they tried to single him up with a corner. Travis Hunter is an exceptional athlete. I put him in both categories. I think wherever he's drafted, that sooner or later in his career, he will play both.
Is there a world where he is drafted as a receiver to a team?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, sure.
I'm sure there's some teams that have him as
Some
that on
teams
their
that
board.
Have him as a receiver.
Just
I
like
mean,
there are that have him on the board at cornerback.
Corner.
But wherever he goes, Amy, they're gonna have him major in one
And
and minor in another.
Wild.
He's an
Wild,
athlete.
wild.
He is an athlete.
Okay, continue on.
Yeah,
Sorry to
Luther
interrupt.
Burden from Mizzou, another of your NIL players that you donate to.
Your funds,
MIZ.
your funds are
ZOU.
going very well.
Yeah.
I coached
They
there
all
for
go through
I coached there for
cleats.
3 years too. So anyway, 6 foot, 206 pounds, 76-inch wingspan, a 4.41 in the 40. His decline in production this year had more to do with usage, quarterback play, than regression on his part physically. I mean, I really believe that. He's built like a running back. He's a stout dude. Now, he's explosive. He's sudden. He's a very fluid athlete, which is what you are looking for out there. I think he's a combination of contact balance, which means he can take a hit, stay on his feet, start, stop. He's got great transition ability, and he's got good instincts with the ball in his hands. He is a weapon when he has the ball in his hands. When you watch his tape from the previous years, very, very consistently, he makes the first man miss. He led all FBS wide receivers in 2024 with 30 missed tackles. He forced 30 missed tackles. The guy's dangerous with the ball in his hands. He can snap off routes. We talk about explosion. His production this year, you didn't get your money's worth when you NIL. It kind of cut in half from 2023. And in usage to me and the quarterback play, he's got a second gear, but a lot of times guys have second, then third gears. He didn't show that much. Again, these are technicalities now. You can talk about his footwork. You can talk about tightening up his stem, which his stem is how he breaks, out of a route. About a little over 80% of his routes were out of the slot this year. If you're in the slot, you're not facing a lot of press man. Because they can't because you're off the ball.
Right.
They can't be offsides to press you. Okay, so that's something that he'll have to work on. But I like this receiver. Matthew Golden from Texas, 5'11", 191, 75-inch wingspan, 4.29 in the 40. It's about all you need to know to begin with. I mean, this is a track guy. He's fast. His footwork is decent. He's light on his feet. I mean, he's not a heavy runner at all. He sets his routes up. He can drop his hips. He sets defenders up a lot of times. I mean, he okey-dokes them. I mean, he puts them to sleep. And then he's got an immediate burst, 4.29. I mean, that's fast. His spatial awareness is really good. His production in 2024, where it really jumped out once they got the playoffs.
Yeah.
He plays big and big. He's a little bit undersized. Some of his other athletic traits are not just elite, but that speed makes up for a lot of things. Now, his catch radius, because of his size, is not really high, but his speed and separation is on an elite level. So, Matthew Golden from Texas. Remember that name. Jalen Royals, Utah State. 6 foot, 205, 9.5-inch hands, 40-yard dash, 4.42, a 1.49, 10-yard split. Remember we said anything under 1.5 is elite. 1.49. Fluid hips, great footwork, sharp cuts. If he's ever got a DB playing that side saddle technique that you see a lot in college, which means you've got your rear end turned towards the sideline looking into the ball. If he ever catches somebody in that, he drops them immediately. He can crush them. Got good footwork. He got a lot of change of pace to him. He's a good target. He's got good focus. He's got good ball tracking. His size measurables, are kind of in the mid range. His strength at the catch point, that's something that he'll have to work on. His speed is good. He's in that 4.42 range. He needs to improve on his consistency and his precision with his footwork and stuff. All that can be learned in this league. But down in the draft somewhere, Jalen Royals would be a nice addition from Utah State.
Let me ask you a question about productivity dips, because there are a couple people in both position groups, tight end and receivers, where year over year they will have a productivity dip for one reason or another, where their numbers just don't match up from one year to the next. Do teams have to do a deep dive into why that may be?
No.
No?
You know why? That is a result. That is a result of transfer portal.
Interesting.
And with the transfer portal, the first position that was affected by the transfer portal, the first position group that switched teams are the quarterbacks, because there's only one that plays, and they want to all play now. So once your quarterback starts changing, that makes a difference. That makes a huge difference. And also with the transfer portal, you're supporting cast changes year to year to year. Now, as a talent evaluator, I mean, I have to do it. Everybody else has to do it. Then you've got to go back and you've got to pick up previous tape of where they were, who they were playing with, what they were surrounded by. With receivers and tight ends that we talk about, if we're going to talk about production through the air, then you see how their quarterback has changed. And you also need to see what type of system they're in, because they may change systems too when the transfer portal takes place. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely, it does.
It makes a difference. It makes a difference evaluating all of these players, but it especially started affecting the quarterback position first, and as a result of the quarterback position, everybody else that they deliver the ball to.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. And somehow, as we've been going through all of this, the transfer portal never really registered in my mind as a factor for a lot of different aspects of why a guy's numbers would be the way they are, the reason a team would be playing the way they are. In my brain, it was just an inconvenience because I never know where people play anymore. But there is a lot more to it than just being an inconvenience to the people who are observers. There are real implications of having not only a player switch teams, but the people around him on the team switching in and out all the time. That's very interesting.
Mason Taylor, the tight end from LSU, is a prime example on both ends of that spectrum, because here comes Jaden Daniels from a different program. He tears it up and is a Heisman Trophy winner, had a great rookie year for Washington. And then Mason Taylor leaves the LSU program as the all-time leading receiver for a tight end in receptions and receiving yards at the tight end position. And this is despite having Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., and this pipeline of receivers that come through LSU into the NFL every year.
Right.
But, yeah, that's a huge point, Mac.
Yeah, it's all very interesting. Hey, Titans fans, with a Kroger Boost membership, you'll score big with double fuel points, free delivery, and lots more. Go to Kroger.com/boost for details. Kroger, the official grocer of the Tennessee Titans. Tighten up. Home is the forefront of all we do. It's why we're so committed to caring for the places and spaces in which we work and live. Ashley, the official furniture provider of the Tennessee Titans. Now, back to the OTP. Well, Rhett, did we blow past any Rhett nuggets?
No, I think we've deposited enough nuggets. Nuggies are plentiful in this OTP.
There are a lot of nuggies in this.
Yes.
In this specific OTP.
Like, rate, subscribe.
Yes, but it's because the wide receivers and the tight ends are very interesting position groups.
Yes.
And they're very important to any offense. So, I think we are on to our final episode of the OTP position previews. That will be dropping soon, and it will be running backs, and it will be quarterbacks. And then after that, the draft.
Here we go.
Isn't that crazy? We are wrapping things up here. So if you need to go back and listen to or watch some of these other OTP position previews, please do that. TennesseeTitans.com, the Titans YouTube channel, or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like, rate, subscribe, tell your friends, do all the things to interact with it, and make sure you're getting those notifications. That's a very important part of all of this
YouTube,
as well.
Subscribe to the Titans the YouTube channel and hit notification bell so that you push notifications when there's new materials on that channel.
Yeah, we don't want you to miss anything. We're trying to help you out. We want to keep you informed, and we want you to be ready for the draft, because you know we will be.
Mm-hmm.
So for Rhett, Bryan, for Coach Mac, I'm Amie Wells. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of the OTP. Next time it's quarterbacks.
OTPs are very informative and entertaining, so
They are. They are both informative and entertaining.
it's much watched.
It is.
Indeed.
That's the tagline. OTP, informative and entertaining.